I think we're seeing the development of LaMelo Ball there, guys. If you watch LaMelo Ball play, I see hints of SGA. Now, I'm not comparing them completely, but what I see is a team starting to corral behind somebody who's a decision maker, somebody who's a willing passer, and somebody who is willing to take the chances and willing to take the shot at the end.
Just an ordinary player, does not show any real or steady grit, plays like he is still in school. His way of playing does not lead to any wins.
Look at this, LaMelo. Look at the dance right here. Sanzay's like, okay, will you shoot it? I'm tired of getting embarrassed on the perimeter.
These are not just random posts from X or a YouTube comment box. These are real reports from NBA scouts. When LaMelo Ball started, people were scared. They thought his deep shots, flashy passes, and fast speed would not lead to wins at the top level. But look at him now. The Hornets just won 9 games in a row, and it seems Charlotte has finally found the secret. Their offense has been amazing during this run. LaMelo's starting group has the best rating in the whole league. They are better than OKC, better than Denver, and even better than the 2017 Warriors at their best. That has always been the story with LaMelo. People said his style would not work. Yet, right now, he is leading the most dominant group in the NBA while playing in a very strange way. The league is changing for him because LaMelo Ball is becoming exactly what they said he could not be, a winner. To see how he is winning now, you have to look at his past. His story did not start in the NBA. It started long ago with huge hype and cameras. Everyone watched him since he was a 13-year-old beating older kids in high school. His highlights were everywhere. Millions watched his YouTube videos. He hit deep shots and made passes no one else saw. He was built for the social media age. While many stars grew up online, LaMelo's story was different because of the path he took. Most NBA stars go to college first. They play for a big school for 1 year and then join the draft. But LaMelo did not follow that plan. He started at Chino Hills and helped build a legendary high school team. As a freshman, he was part of a perfect 35-0 season. He could score from anywhere and handled the ball like a pro even then. As a sophomore, he scored 92 points in 1 game, playing like the gym was his own playground. That game went viral fast, but it also brought a lot of hate. Even Charles Barkley said he had a problem with it because LaMelo did not play defense. That became the pattern. Every big win came with big doubts. People called him reckless and arrogant, and that was just the start. In 2017, he skipped high school to play pro ball in Lithuania with his brother. That plan failed quickly. The team lost almost every game, and LaMelo barely scored. People still worried about his defense and his wild shots. Soon, scouts stopped going to see him. After that, he joined his father's league, the JBA. He put up huge numbers, but the games were not tough. It did not prove he was ready for the NBA. He went back to school in Ohio at Spire Institute to face better players. It was a fresh start, but many scouts still hadn't seen him play live. Because he played pro ball, he could not play in the big All-American games where NBA bosses look at talent. For many teams, LaMelo was still a mystery. With college no longer an option, he made another strange move. He signed with the Hawks in Australia. No family drama, just real basketball against grown men. In 16 games, he was one of the best players in that league. At 18, he proved he could handle the physical game. Almost overnight, his draft stock went through the roof. He jumped to number 3 on the big lists. Scouts who once thought he was a risk now called him a top talent. On draft night, the Charlotte Hornets picked him 3rd. He was the highest-picked American to skip college for a path overseas. And LaMelo quickly proved he belonged. He averaged 16 points and 6 assists as a rookie. He led all new players in assists and steals and won the 2021 Rookie of the Year award. In his second year, he got even better and made his first All-Star team. It looked like he was going to be one of the best in the NBA. But then things went wrong. Just as he was ready to take over, his body started to break down. His injury problem started with a bad ankle sprain. He missed the start of the year, came back, and then got hurt again by stepping on a fan's foot. A month later, another sprain happened. Then came the worst part, a broken ankle that needed surgery. His season ended after only 36 games. He came back the next year looking fast and scoring 26 points a game, but the same ankle started hurting again. He ended that year playing only 22 total games. By 2025, it wasn't just his ankles. A calf strain stopped him during his best run. Then came more ankle pain and wrist issues. He was in and out of the lineup constantly. What looked like a rise to the top was now a story of constant injuries. In his first 2 years, he played almost every game. In the 3 years after, he was only on the floor for about 43% of the games. Since LaMelo is the heart of the team, his absence hurt everywhere. When he was out, the team lost and the critics returned. They called him too thin and too weak for the NBA. They said if he cannot stay on the floor, he cannot lead his team to wins. Now he's back and fully healthy. Charlotte fans are excited because the team finally looks like a real playoff threat. LaMelo is hitting deep threes and making the whole team play better with his fast energy and amazing vision for the game. The same strange path that once made him unique now looked very shaky. For the Hornets, who had spent $260 million on him, the real worry started to grow about whether that bet would ever work out. But when LaMelo came back for the 25-26 season, everything felt different. The Hornets were very smart about it. They used minutes limits, rest days, and even brought him off the bench so he could finish games strong in the fourth quarter. This was a plan that LaMelo himself liked. The goal was to keep him healthy as much as it was to get points. Charlotte started the season slowly, but in January, the team got healthy and something finally clicked. They had a huge 27-point win over Orlando, held the 76ers to just 93 points, and got a clutch win over Dallas. They played great defense against Wembanyama in a tight win over San Antonio. Then came big wins over Denver and Houston, leading to 9 victories in a row. Even after that streak ended against Detroit, the Hornets had gone 10-1 in their last 11 games. During that run, LaMelo averaged about 19 points and 7 assists, but the numbers only tell part of the story. What mattered more was the feel of the game, the control, and the new identity of the team. When LaMelo is healthy, the Hornets win. Most of the time, he is a massive part of that success. The same people who said his style would not lead to winning were suddenly watching Charlotte win at a level they had not seen in years. His elite passing, his power to start fast breaks, and the way he scares the defense the moment he crosses half court all change how Charlotte plays. That is why the Hornets handle him so carefully. They want to protect their star player. Now with him on the floor, Charlotte is winning so fast that the rest of the league is paying attention. After a slow start to the season due to injuries, the Hornets have been climbing out of the hole they dug early on. They now sit at 26-29 in the East, holding the number 9 spot for the play-in. And that brings us to the stat I mentioned at the start of this video. This should worry every team in the playoffs, because what LaMelo is doing with this starting 5 is something we have never seen. Since LaMelo Ball returned on December 18th with Charlotte's main core ready to play, the Hornets have had the 7th best rating in the NBA. That is good, but here is where it gets crazy. The group of Ball, Knecht, Miller, Bridges, and Diabate has played 124 minutes together. In that time, they have an amazing plus 25.8 rating. That is the best mark among all 42 units in the NBA that have played at least 100 minutes. It's better than OKC, better than Denver, and even better than the 2017 Warriors lineup at its peak. The deeper you look, the more wild it gets. Among groups that play together a lot, Charlotte's starting 5 is the most efficient lineup in the entire league. They are more efficient than anything Boston, Denver, or Detroit can put on the court. And that is not by accident. The Hornets have great young talent like Brandon Miller and Moussa Diabate, but this big jump has one clear reason. When LaMelo plays, the Hornets get better. When that starting 5 plays together, they become the most dominant unit in basketball. LaMelo Ball has long been hated for his playing style. He has been called the most unserious player in the league. Critics talk about his one-legged threes and crazy passes that feel like they belong on a playground. They say his flair ruins the team's discipline. They say the style is fun, but it does not win. This hate was heard recently from Robert Horry on his show. He said that for a point guard who is a great talent, he just does not take the game seriously. He thinks it has a bad effect on the whole team. On the surface, that might make sense. LaMelo shoots strange shots and throws passes most players wouldn't even dream of. He plays with a very loose style. But then there is the other side. Iman Shumpert surprised people when he compared LaMelo to SGA, saying he doesn't see a big difference in how they play. He sees how a team starts to follow a leader who is a willing passer and is not afraid to take the big shot. That comparison is important. There was a time when people questioned if SGA could lead a winning team too. It wasn't until his teammates got better that the story changed. Look, the Hornets have failed to win more than 30 games for over 3 years. They were last in the league. For many, that record was proof against LaMelo. They called him a losing player with empty stats who didn't care. But the numbers show a different story. In his 5-year career, the Hornets have won much more often when LaMelo is playing. When he's on the floor, the offense is elite. Without him, it drops to the bottom of the league. The advanced stats show the same thing. LaMelo is one of the most impactful offensive players in basketball. The problem was never his impact, it was his health and the team around him. For years, he didn't have the right players or the health to prove he is a winner. But now with health and a strong core, the results are clear. When that starting 5 opens games, the Hornets are an incredible 16-1. In big moments this season, LaMelo has not been shy. He makes tough decisions without waiting. When he's playing well, he is a one-man engine. He stretches the defense from half court and uses his height to find passes that defenders never see coming. That is what the league got wrong. They thought he would have to change his style to survive. But now that his style is winning games, it's not LaMelo changing for the NBA, it's the NBA changing for LaMelo. And that is the truth. He was never going to fit in the box the NBA built for point guards. Every time someone tried to force him into one through scouting reports or injury talk, he came back and played even more like himself. The Hornets are not winning because of who LaMelo is. They're winning because of who he is. Now, can Charlotte turn this into a real playoff run? Let me know what you think below. And as always, like the video and subscribe for more, and check out another video on your screen right now.